Hello. Okay, it says we're checking connection. Whoops. Hope all of you are doing very well. I am excited about today's topic. I'm going to be featuring one of my best friends from way back in the day. It's always nice to get some locals. Hey, there she is. Okay, let me invite her to come live. Hey, thank you for tuning in.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
How are you?
I'm good. You look great. It's been so
You
long.
too. Thank you. I am sitting in an empty room, so I hope it's not too echoey.
Oh no, you're fine.
Is it good? Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. This is your first live too, isn't it?
It is. I'm so happy to
Yay.
be here. I'm
I
kind
know,
of close
right?
to it because I don't have anything to set up my phone, but this is
Okay,
how I have to do it today. Thank you
it's
for being
all
patient
good.
with me. Trying to find the right lighting, but
No worries. Here, let
it's
me adjust this really fast. Okay, I think the volume's okay.
is it good?
Yes, yes, we're good. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. So I
Yeah.
made it back to the States. I'm live here in Colorado, and I'm live here with Erica in Colorado as well. So I'm super excited about today's guest. But before I dive into her intro, I just want to again thank everyone for tuning in or catching the replay. Again, I always want to just be able to feature amazing people for these boss interviews, just to share as many insights and their stories as well. But we're here just to drop as much value as we can for you young professionals and entrepreneurs out there. So without further ado, I'm very excited about today's guest. I'd love to introduce you all to the lovely Erica. She's like one of my very best friends. We go way back. We met back in the dance days, just
Yes,
like
we
over
did.
10 years ago. Oh my gosh. Saying
It's
that
so
loud, I'm
funny.
like, oh my gosh. Saying it out loud, I'm just like, that was 10 years ago. It was years ago.
You know, when you posted that post a while back of what you didn't know about Monique, it's
Yep.
so true. People don't know that side of Monique. And
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, I
I
know
know,
that
right?
side of Monique. That was a fun
Exactly.
time.
Yeah, I'll just see if we can dig up some of your old photos too.
Those are hidden deep, deep, deep in the box.
It's all good. So, a little bit about Erica. Erica is a Colorado native born in Denver, raised in Vail, and loves all things outdoors. Her favorite outdoor activity is paddleboard yoga. She is a wife, a mother, a yogi, and obsessed with fruit and the color pink, chocolate, and giraffes. She has always had a passion for athletics and fitness. She began her career studying athletic training and completed her master's degree in 2017, studying kinesiology. I can never say that word.
Easy.
She
You were close.
right? She received her 200-hour ROIT in August 2016. Her teacher training experience was truly life-changing and further influenced her passion for yoga. Yoga has been her outlet. It is where she feels the most beautiful and the most free. It is where she learned to love herself and strives to teach others to do the same. It is critical for her that her classes are challenging, that she encourages growth, new opportunity, and the importance of getting out of your head to exceed any and all reservations. She wants to leave her class feeling confident, beautiful, and empowered. As an instructor, she hopes to challenge her creativity, to always be a student of yoga, and to never lose her passion for learning. So thank you so much for being here on this Q&A today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so honored that you chose to talk yoga with me. It's one of the things that I love most. So thank you for thinking
Of
of me.
course, girl. Well, I'm always just so inspired by you too, because it's not just yoga, but everything else you're doing too. So it's just like,
Ah, thank you so much.
absolutely. So as we dive in, can you first tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got started? Like, how did you kind of fall into place to where you are now?
Yeah, so like you mentioned in my bio, my background is in sports medicine. I got my bachelor's in athletic training, and from there, I spent a couple of years in a high school setting treating young student athletes after injuries. I did a lot of injury prevention with them, and that was a lot of fun. Then I moved from the field setting into a clinical setting, and I worked alongside a pediatric orthopedic sports
Mhm.
medicine doctor, and I loved that job. It was one of the most fun times that I had, and so I treated, um, I helped treat injuries in a clinical setting. Any injury from like a playground,
Yeah.
falling off the monkey bars, trampoline injuries, continued sports injuries, and that was fun. And during that time, I went in to get my yoga certification. And um, I kind of jumped into teaching along the same time that I was in the clinical setting, and then really found a passion for teaching yoga. And so where I'm at now is combining my athletic training background, my human movement background, with yoga. And so what I like to do with my classes, and I teach anybody from, preschoolers, like 4 or 5 year olds, to, beginners and intermediate and the advanced. And so what I like them to focus on is listen to their bodies and see what's working in that pose and how we can manage any sort of treat any sort of their pain or injuries. But then I also like to dive on that mental healing side. And by
Yes.
no means am I saying I'm a, therapist or psychologist or anybody who can treat mental health illnesses, but I like to give them a space of, deep breathing, a
Yeah.
space that's for them to settle down and slow down. Give them a space to think about goals or let go of any fears or resistance. And so I combine the two in a class, and that's what I like to do now.
Yeah. That's awesome. Would you
Yeah,
say that's the favorite thing about the work that you do?
it's one of them. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a couple of favorite things that I like about what I do. It's I just enjoy being around people, and I'm so lucky to, like I mentioned, work with the little kiddos and just
Yeah.
teaching them about movement. Like um, on that one side is like, this is how we move our body, this is how we stretch this part of the body or the back of your legs, and let's touch that. And but it also teaches them how to cope with their emotions. So like if we're getting
Mhm.
really angry, let's take a nice deep breath, and we teach
Yeah.
the nice deep breathing techniques that come along with yoga too. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I like about yoga.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Well, so I'm super excited about diving into this a little bit more too, because I feel like, especially like this year has just been like a crazy year. So I'm happy to hear that, like you guys are all been safe and well too. But a lot of us are working from home right now, and I feel like a lot of us just don't move anymore. We're just like sitting
Yeah.
around all the time. Why is it really important to, continue to add movement to your daily lifestyle? Like, I guess, you're definitely like very qualified to talk about this.
I am in that category. Of slowing down in the pandemic. It's been hard to stay moving.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have changed. There's a lot of things that had to you have to work around. And so,
Mhm.
let's say even for me, I had to bring in 2 small kiddos into the house. I had to rearrange the house and turn my dining room into not only the yoga place that
Yeah.
I taught online yoga, but a playroom and a study room and an office room. So like we've all had some challenges, but one of the things that we need to what's nice about movement is it gives time for yourself and
Mhm.
time to re-energize, and it's good for our muscles and it's good for our bones to keep moving. It keeps them strong, and so it doesn't have to be an hour of lifting. It can be 30 minutes walking outside just for you to recharge, get that sun, get that
Mhm.
vitamin D. And
Yeah.
it's about giving back to yourself, and giving you that little bit of boost during
Mhm.
these times that is so powerful, so important for us to do.
Yeah. I love that. Here in the comments, revive and recovery. So powerful.
Yes, it is.
So true.
And I want to like just reinforce it's not about like doing this big lifting. It's not about doing,
Yeah.
an hour of exercise. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. Just give back to yourself. Give time for you to step away from the desk, step away from the computer. And
Hmm.
even like I have 2 small kiddos here, and I love them to pieces, and I just have to take a minute to breathe, just to take a
Yeah.
deep breath. So yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. That's awesome. Well, and I feel like sometimes too, like I always try to just go back and just center myself and just remember like sometimes like, we also just take movement for granted. And then, not like you said, like not everyone can even, their bodies aren't just capable to do like a lot of the heavy and strenuous workouts. So I know a lot of people do recommend yoga as like gentle workouts.
Mhm.
What do you find are like the top three benefits for trying yoga?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the misconceptions of yoga, that it's all this like gentle,
Hmm.
deep breathing,
Yeah.
and you sit in a quiet room and it's awkward and it's weird. But there's more to yoga. Not all, there's very different types of yoga. And so for example, one of the things that I like to teach in my classes, I teach the power class.
Mhm.
And let me just put this right here so I can.
There you go.
So I teach the power classes, and there's different types. There's the gentle yoga, there's the Ashtanga, there's different types of yoga. And but with my classes is a nice, strong, powerful class, and it brings in the mind, the body, and the soul. And all of yoga is this. And by that, when I speak on my end as wanting that physical aspect and that mental side, I incorporate the body. So we do a lot of strength training. It works the muscles, the leg muscles. We do a lot of push-up, not like insane push-ups,
Yeah,
but we go down into that lower kind of push-up pose, and then we hook up into um, upward facing dog. And so it's a lot of arm and core and leg muscle strengthening. So that's the body. The next thing that's good from yoga is the mind. It gives you
yeah,
a space to slow down, stay grounded, get centered, and maybe even let go of anything that's one holding you back, or
mhm,
that you are have these built up frustrations about. Take that deep breath and let it go. So the second thing is it helps with our mind. And then
yeah,
the last one is that soul. And the soul, for me, I believe in God, and that's my point of giving gratitude, saying thank you. It's that deep breath of like, oh, thank you for all the blessings that you have. And so, whether you believe in God or something else, that's your moment of having gratitude for
yeah,
the many blessings, the many, many and countless things that you have in your life that you are so thankful for. And so, yoga is not just about flexibility and
mhm,
yeah, it comes with that. That's what makes yoga great.
mhm,
Um, that's that body side, but it does help with that mind, and it helps you
mhm.
stay centered and have gratitude. So those are all key points that I like about
I love
yoga.
that. Well, I'm so glad
And
that you broke it down that way too. So, yeah, because you're right. It definitely, I remember going to a couple yoga classes. I remember they really kicked my butt. And everyone
it
does talk about
does.
them being gentle workouts, but
Yeah, it
um,
does.
so you mentioned you're still currently teaching. Oh, hey, Joanne, thanks for tuning in. What's it been like moving to the online space? Like, how's that pivot been for you?
It started off really, really strong. Um,
Mhm,
so I worked with a studio, and I also worked for an online platform.
mhm,
The studio one, we started off strong and then kind of tampered off, and then the online platform maintained. I mean, we jumped on the online platform even before the pandemic hit, and then this was just
mhm.
like, hey, this is great. But then I had the kiddos with me,
Yeah,
and it was hard to find the space and the time to get away to
yeah.
teach. And I want to give back for my students because I want this to be a space for them.
Mhm.
And my chaos behind me, and it wasn't so much in my room, but just in like the surrounding sound
Yeah,
of the home, was
mhm,
hard for me to do that. So
yeah.
um, I kind of stepped away for a little bit, and we're in this process of moving, and then I'm hoping to find a space that is just isolated for this online yoga that's just booming, or online
Mhm.
fitness that's just booming
Totally.
right now during the pandemic. So
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
a learning curve for almost everybody in the world, whether you're in fitness or you're in like school for kiddos, and it's
Mhm.
kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
So together.
I know, right? How old are your little ones again? Like, how are they now?
They are 4 and 21 months, so almost two
Oh,
years.
wow. Yeah, your youngest and I have the same birthday, so.
Yes, that's true. And on National Women's Day, so that's
Yep.
like such a
Exactly.
strong
I
day.
know, right?
Yeah.
Um, okay, so as you mentioned, like there is this like huge boom with like the online fitness and stuff. Like, what are your three tips to stay motivated to, improve your movement routine daily? I know that's probably really hard for some of us. I'm gonna raise my hand on that one too.
Yeah. And that's one of the things is like, don't get hard on yourself. There's
Hmm.
lots of different ways to go about this. And so if you're just kind of jumping into fitness, you're like, oh, feeling the slumps of this
Hmm.
pandemic and you need a little bit of a boost, there's always online, support your local studios,
Yeah.
one. Two, but YouTube is a great way to try new things. They do weights, no
Yeah.
weights, videos are all over YouTube. You could do power classes that range from like 15 minutes to 30 minutes to a full hour if you want that. And so the first one is my first tip, I would say, is just start small.
Hmm.
Um, find My second one would be find something that you like.
Yeah.
So start small, find something that you like. And it kind of goes back to when I first started getting into yoga. I didn't like the big box gyms going in
Hmm.
lifting weights. And so I was like, I need to find something that I really
Yeah.
like. And that's when I found yoga, and that's what kept me going and kept me staying motivated.
Mm.
So there's different things. There's bar, there's indoor cycling, there's strength training, there's Pilates. So there's lots of different ways in kickboxing that you can go about with finding a passion, something that's going to keep you motivated, something that you have fun going to. And so the first one, what did I say? Start small.
Yeah.
Second one is find something that you like.
Mm.
And then that third one is, just stay dedicated.
Yeah.
Don't give yourself too much of a goal, but also don't put so much pressure on yourself that it's not fun
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
And I
Definitely.
think that that's where it falls sometimes. It's
Hmm.
like, I got to do these 3 days a week and I'm not there yet. And so you fall off this and it's hard to get back on. And so
Hmm.
don't get so pressured into what it's supposed to be. Do
Yeah.
what is right for you.
No, I think that's great advice because I feel like too often times, especially that last one, when you put it on yourself, you end up discouraging yourself and then nothing happens, right?
You do. You do. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
that it stems into something that I always preach, find something that you like. Find
Yeah.
something. Yoga for me may not be yoga for you.
Hmm.
I can tell you all the benefits and all the great things about it, but maybe it's not. There's
Yeah.
always, for example, my sister loves kickboxing and
Mm-hmm.
she is so dedicated to that. And it's great because she goes and goes and goes. And it's her passion for that is like my passion for yoga. You can go all
Mm-hmm.
the time, and that's
Yeah.
what's important, something that you enjoy doing.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's briefly shift gears here. I do want to talk about motherhood. So I know, like, you have like such an impressive bio, and I know some people probably wonder, like, how do you do it all? Like, because I'm sure that hasn't been easy either, like making the pivot and stuff too. Like, do you believe there's like a work-life balance?
I do believe that there is such thing as a work-life balance. And as a mother, I do believe that moms can reach their goals and also be a mom. Now, I'm still trying to figure this out, but I would say it takes a lot of, I have a lot of help, one from my husband
Mhm.
who has full support of my professional goals, and he helps me so much at home. I have family support that, when they say it takes a village, it really does
Yeah.
take a village. And it takes a lot of planning on my end to try to figure out, like, hey, I have this, the
Yeah.
kids need to be here. And so you just have to kind of pre-plan a lot,
Mhm.
kind of maintain that communication with the people around you, like my husband or my family. But I do believe that it's possible. And I'm now to the point where I spent the first 2 years of my youngest life with her. And I'm so fortunate and blessed to be able to do that. But I'm ready to get back into that workforce, ready to like get pounding and kind of grow or professionally and still maintain that balance. So I'm excited for it.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I've always been so inspired by you. So I'm just like, I'm probably gonna be texting you like once I'm pregnant. I'm just like,
it's not easy.
Exactly.
They're crazy.
Okay, so last question. I always love to end these Q&As with action steps. So what is the one action step you would recommend today to these young professionals and small business owners to do today as it relates to just improving like their overall wellness or, that balance of the mind and body?
Yeah. I would say step out of that comfort zone as things are being pounded back there. Sorry.
Oh, good.
I say step out of that comfort zone, and I am too still learning this, but when I first started doing yoga, like I mentioned, I was trying to get into this big box gym, lifting weights, and I was like, this is not what I wanted to do. And I tried something new. I went to yoga, I took a class, and right away I knew that I liked it. I knew that I wanted to go back. And so I stepped out of that comfort zone. It's a little bit weird, deep breathings. You're not doing a bunch of the other stuff. Like it's awkward. And once you step out of there, that's where you grow. And the same thing goes for small businesses. You as a professional is take that next step that's a little bit uncomfortable, and that's where you're going to grow also. And I say that, and I'm trying also. I know that it's much easier to say that than it is to do it. Because I struggle sometimes even trying to like get that next post or play with that next edge with that pose, yoga pose that I'm doing in class. It all kind of balances out, but once you make that next leap, then you're gonna bloom and you're ready for the next obstacle, and then you're gonna bloom, and then you're gonna ready for the next one. It just keeps going. So that's what I say.
Love that. Oh, that's so good. It's a perfect way to end this too, because it's just like I always like to end this on like a high note, because it's just like it's totally doable. But I completely agree. Like the only way you're gonna grow is to push yourself and step out of that comfort zone. And as we're like nearing the end of the year too, like really think about like what that looks like for you. So Erica, thank you so much for being on here today. Like we definitely need to catch up again soon. Like I feel like we always wait too long.
I know. When was the last time? So long ago.
I know, right?
Yeah, but I appreciate you having me on here. It's such an honor, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
No, I know, right? This has been
as
so
always.
good. You too. Okay, so for people that have more questions or just curious about, like you may be taking one of your classes, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram at Erica Lyons Yoga. I check that all the time. I'm currently on a pause as far as teaching online, just because we're moving, but I hope to bring that up again, and that will be with that online platform. Did you hear that?
Oh, okay. Go here. Rewind. It like froze for a second. You said you're on
it's
pause
at Legato Yoga.
Okay, here we go. Perfect. Awesome. Cool.
But it's
well,
all
excellent.
On my Instagram page that you can see.
Okay, perfect. Well, and I'll have Erica's Instagram details linked here in the caption. But excellent. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in live today, or if you're catching the replay. Please let me know your thoughts and feedback as always, and definitely take Erica's advice on some of this stuff too, because I feel like we do get stuck in this like just wheel of like doing the same thing over and over again. I feel like this is a great way to change things up, definitely to get that movement in your life. I think that's going to be really important too. But let me know your thoughts and feedback as always, or if you'd like me to have Erica on again sometime. Any final thoughts from you, Erica?
No, I wish everybody a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I hope next year brings us more promising.
I know, right?
this year's been crazy.
Exactly. All right, girl. Well, you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Bye.
Oops.